can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like 100 grand.
You are listening to Inspired Insider with your host, Dr. Jeremy Wise.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here, founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs like the founders of RxBar, Quest Nutrition, P90X, Atari, and many more, and how they overcome big challenges in life and business. Our mutual friend, Josh Scott Gray, kept telling me over and over, you need to meet Josh because he's one of the nicest and smartest entrepreneurs I know. So finally, we get to meet. And a few shout outs and sponsors. Check out my friend Jordan Harbinger's podcast. Subscribe on iTunes. You can find it on jordanharbinger.com. He always has great guests, and I consider him a pioneer in the industry. Also, another noteworthy podcast to check out is Be Fulfilled by Tony Grebmeyer, also known as Tony G. If you don't know how to spell his last name, just search Be Fulfilled and Tony G, and I'm sure it will come up because I looked it up and it did come up. Also want to mention Rise25.com, which I co-founded with my business partner, John Corcoran. Rise25 hosts in-person VIP events and masterminds for top entrepreneurs all over the country, including many events in the e-commerce industry. Rise25, we hosted events this past year in Austin, Chicago, Santa Barbara, San Diego, New York, Sonoma, Las Vegas. Probably some I'm missing. So if you see value of immersing yourself with top entrepreneurs to connect and collaborate to get your business to the next level, go to rise25.com and contact us to find out where our next one is. Our next one is actually in San Diego, and Josh and I are going to hang out. So today we have Josh Felber, co-founder of Primal Life Organics, which he co-founded with his wife. He runs the show Making Bank, fantastic show. I've watched many episodes. Damon John, so many more. Damon John's mentor. Who am I? Jay Abraham. Yeah, Jay Abraham.
I drew a blank.
So many more. Josh is a serial entrepreneur with more than 28 years of starting and growing several multi-million-dollar companies, including one with $5 billion in annual revenues, which I'm going to ask about. He is married with 3 kids and has twin boys. It's a handful, Josh. Thanks for joining me.
Awesome. Thank you for having me on the show, Jeremy.
So, I talked to Tony G today, and, I have all these questions and curiosity things. I want to dig into Primal Life Organic, but, and this is a good topic. He said, you have to ask Josh about his bag of supplements. So I don't know if you have it handy or not.
Not right here.
You don't have it handy?
But I'll have it when we're in San Diego.
Okay. Talk about the bag of supplements for a second. He said it's not just like 5 pills. What's in there?
So for me, especially when I travel, that's always like the worst part. My suitcase is done in about 10 minutes, but the supplements take me about a half hour to make sure, because I organize them all out so I can quick have them just accessible. But just everything from making sure the right digestive enzymes, probiotics. I work out martial arts and everything on a daily basis, so those type of supportive supplements and everything that you need for recovery, also for training, mental clarity. So just a variety of different supplements.
How many are in there? How many is in the bag?
Oh man, I have like a morning.
He said 100. Maybe 100.
AM PM bag. So maybe there's probably 50 total between the two. Wow. So probably like 20-ish or so in the morning and another 20 or 25 at night.
For overall health, Josh, if someone's like, okay, just give me your top 3, what should I do if nothing else? And I know it depends on activity and everything. What would you tell someone, these are the top 3 you should start taking out of my bag of supplements?
The top 3, I think everybody should be taking some kind of digestive enzyme and probiotics, just because everything we eat, whether it's you're eating out, whether there's a lot of processed stuff. Even when you cook stuff, if you're not eating a lot of raw food, when you cook it, it breaks down some of the things. So any type of digestive enzyme, probiotic, pre and probiotic, and everything that will help with that. So I think that would probably be a big factor. Inflammation reducing, so any type of so a lot of fish oil. Fish oil is really good for inflammation reductions, joints, things like that, and probably some vitamin D, high level vitamin D and stuff as well, just for overall immune health, and because we're not getting usually enough good sun.
You're in Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Well, I'm in Chicago, but so what Primal Life ones do you take? Is there a probiotic or what?
So Primal Life, it's all skincare. So
it is. Well,
yeah.
I see there's a couple supplements you guys have.
One product is a skin supplement.
Oh, is that the only one? I thought you had a brain one.
Don't
you?
So, all right. So I created a brain supplement as well, but it's under a separate company called F2 Nutrition.
Oh, okay.
And so I did a lot of research, probably about 18 months of research on brain supplements and what's out there, works, what doesn't work. Most of them are full of crap, and and then said, okay, cool.
You don't know what to believe. Yeah.
What that?
I said you never know what to believe. With what's out there.
So we tested every single thing, and found out the top ingredients, and so we shoved them all in a product. Originally, they were like, "This is going to be like 8 capsules." I'm like, "Dude, we got to figure out how to get it down into 2, 4 at the most." So we did.
So you made them like this big?
No, they're actually normal size, but yes, I've seen those giant ones. But yeah, so it's called Brain Boost, and that's my kind of.
Well, can people get it somewhere or where?
Yeah, I mean, I think brainboost10x.com. You can get
brainboost10x.com. Okay.
Yeah, it's a free sample, or f2nutrition.com is the website for the brain supplement.
Okay, so there's the skin one. What's in the skin one? I'm looking at it here actually.
Sure, the skin one is based off of phytoceramides, and some vitamin E, and there's something else in there. And so phytoceramides have been shown to help with hydration of the skin. So making sure the skin is more supple, making sure that it kind of has that youthfulness looking to it and stuff. And so it's based off of, I think, the rice is what ours is based off of and everything. And so that was more just an addition to all of our other products. So it's like
cool. It really started with like the skincare, What's the most popular product out there?
Our most popular product for Primal Life is the tooth powder. So it's our dental care
tooth powder.
The tooth powder, yes.
So which came first? Was it skincare or tooth stuff?
So the very first products that were created were baby products.
Oh.
And it was originally created because we couldn't find baby products when our daughter was born. And so my wife figured out a way, hey, the organic stuff is still not organic. There's still stuff you can't pronounce.
Yeah. And your wife has a background. She's a nurse anesthetist too, right?
Yes.
So she knows what she's talking about. So it was for your baby. So what was the product?
So she came up with like baby balm, like spray, so you don't have to use the wipes that still had a lot of different stuff in them. The balm is more for like the rashes and things like that. And
oh god, yeah, we went through bottles and bottles of that stuff.
Yeah.
So what's in the this is interesting. I didn't realize there was like a balm. What's in that one? This is for the babies.
Yeah, I think the baby balm, it's a variety of like beeswax and then different essential oils and stuff that help kind of the calming and help like just keep the urine a lot of times is what causes the diaper rash and stuff like that. So just kind of keeping that more of the neutral pH and everything. So
yeah, how is it working with your wife on the company? What's the advantages and what are some of the tough things?
No, I think it's awesome. It's cool. It's taken a while for me to actually get to the point where I was full time with it because you kind of want to holding on to like, okay, cool. It was her kind of creation that she came up with and started.
Anyone who, by the way, I'm going to interrupt for a second. So I want people to go to PrimalLifeOrganics.com. There's an amazing video. I think there's at About Us. There's an amazing video of kind of why it started and how it started. It's pretty touching. So.
Cool. And so just the whole process along and kind of hanging on to, what I had and what I was doing and the different companies that I'd owned and everything. And, finally got to the point where she was just like in such dire need of that extra help, even though we had employees and everything else. She's never run a company and it was just growing significantly so quickly.
Yeah.
And so then once I came on board, every year for the last couple of years, we've been able to, always double revenue, really grow it, and kind of take some of that load off of her. And so I end up overseeing kind of like a CMO role and overseeing our marketing team, outsource marketers, different things like that to really brand it and grow it. So
is she doing that full time, or does she still love doing the nurse anesthetist stuff?
She does Primal Life basically 99.9% of the time. One day a month she does the nurse anesthetist just because she still enjoys it.
Yeah, she likes doing it. The other thing I want to, besides the bag of supplements, I'm going to just bounce around for a second. I want to hear about this. So you inspired Tony G to do a water fast, right? And he was saying that you did 2 consecutive weeks of 5-day water fast. So why did you decide to do this crazy thing? I mean, I've done crazy things too. So I like this, that people will think it's crazy. So why did you do it, and then how did it go?
Definitely. So normally on a day-to-day basis, I intermittent fast anyways.
You do? Okay.
I've done a 24-hour, I've done a 36-hour.
Okay. Talk about what, for people who don't know what intermittent fasting is, talk about what that is.
So with intermittent fasting, what works best for me is my last meal will be somewhere right around 7, 8 o'clock, just depend what my schedule is that day. And then I don't usually eat again until a lot of times the next evening, or sometimes
really?
Yeah, sometimes I'll go close to 20 hours.
Oh, wow.
But on average, it's about 18, so I'll eat in about 18 hours, sometime around 2 or 3 p.m. the following day.
Okay.
And then have a short compressed window, so maybe between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Yeah. You're supposed to eat in some a 6-hour window or something.
4,
right?
6, 8, somewhere anywhere right in there.
Why did you start doing that, the intermittent fasting?
Initially, I started just to test it out and see. And I'm always trying to figure out different ways to feel better, have more energy, and different things. And so I just started doing it, testing it out. I'm like, oh, wow, this actually works pretty good. And started rolling that into more and more. And it just kind of became part of what I do every single day.
It's like your habit. I mean, was there an outcome you were looking for? I just want more energy, or I just want to get more fit? What was the research? I mean, you seem the one that's researching. What was the reason?
Initially, it was just to try it out, and from an energy standpoint, and just being able to it's helped with working out in general and stuff.
Yeah.
And so managing, helping your hormonal levels dial in, and strength and different things. So initially, it was like a physical fitness type focus with it. And then just more and more research has come eating 5 meals a day or 5 things a day is not good. If you can eat once to twice a day,
really?
You're using less energy, less whatever on you, and less taxing loads on your system.
Yeah.
And so you use it in that shorter time span, and then it gives your body more energy for brain and optimal function throughout the day.
So then, why the water fast?
So
you're I think I could do more. I think I can just not eat for 5 days.
No, so the water fast came about. A good friend of mine, Warren Phillips and Dr. Pompa, they own a company called Revolution Health, and he's real big health and nutrition and focus and everything. And last second, a good friend of mine who's been helping them with marketing, he's like, "Hey, we're doing this 5-day fast." I'm like, "Dude, you're telling me it starts in 3 hours?" I go, "So I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it the following week." So
is it just so people hold each other accountable? Is that why they do it together?
That's why they had probably 100 people that was doing it.
I want a cookie. Don't do it. Okay.
Right. Which was kind of good. I think it worked out best that way because Dr. Pompa shot a video every day. Hey, here's where you're at. This is what you might be experiencing. And so I was able to
hunger.
Them all. So I knew.
You may be experiencing hunger at the moment.
And in my head too, I knew, okay, cool. I've done a 48-hour. I've done a 24. I've done a 3-day and stuff. So I kind of knew from that standpoint how I was gonna, feel and deal with things. And so my wife decided to do it with me as well.
Okay.
From a health standpoint. And so we did the 5-day fast, saw some great results. You monitor your ketone levels and your glucose levels. So you want your ketone levels to get higher, your glucose levels to drop. And what that's going to do is your body goes into autophagy. So it's getting rid of all the bad cells, all this stuff that needs to just get flushed out of your system. And so doing that, there was definitely challenges. I mean, especially going into day 4. And for me, I do Krav Maga, so I do that, and Taekwondo.
So you're still doing high-level active stuff.
Yes, I didn't work out, though, because they said you probably don't want to work out till maybe the 5th day. I didn't do Taekwondo. I just did Krav Maga just a couple days that week. But my tracking is, I forced my body to fall out of autophagy when I did that. And so the second time when I did it, I staggered in the way I set my days up for the 5 days. So I ended and started within a certain.
How do you know that? Is it based off of your glucose levels and ketone levels or
Correct.
something? Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So can you drink other liquids? We say water fast, but what can you actually drink?
So if it's just a water fast, just water.
Just water.
Some people, the first time they're doing it, they may drink some bone broth or some coffee still in the morning.
Yeah.
But to really do it correct is just water. You can add some sea salt to your water 2 or 3 days in if you want to kind of maintain. I did for sure to maintain electrolyte balances and things like that instead of just slugging back water. And that helps.
How much are you supposed to drink per day? Are you supposed to?
As you feel needed.
As you feel, really? Okay.
Correct, yeah. Yep.
So what was the result at the end? How did you feel?
Definitely.
You did it 2 weeks in a row, right?
Close. No, it wasn't. So we ended on a Friday night, and then 3 days later we were flying to Mexico. So I ate in Mexico, and then flew back. We were back for about a week, and so there was probably 2 to 3 weeks in between. And then I was like, I'm going to do it again. And just more from a challenge standpoint and seeing how I can manage it better and just tracking the results better and stuff like that. Because it was still kind of last minute because I didn't have all my stuff I needed when I first started on the first couple days. And so the second time through, it was way easier. You already mentally knew, you're mentally prepared, as well as just tracking everything. And so I started it on Saturday, so I was able to end on a Thursday morning. So I didn't work out and stuff throughout the week, but it was cool because then I started my workouts back on Friday. I did Krav on Thursday night, started my workouts back on Friday and Saturday and stuff. And felt awesome, had amazing energy, still do. It totally resets your gut bacteria, gets rid of all the bad, it gets rid of your good, so you got to re-inoculate.
That's a good question that I was going to ask. Right, so when you get off, obviously it's a shock to the system to eat. What's recommended to kind of step yourself into once you start taking in foods and liquids?
Definitely. So initially, for the first part of the day is just bone broth. So it's just straight bone broth, grass-fed butter in it, and some MCT oil, just to kind of get the system. A lot of probiotics, prebiotics, and stuff to get into the system. And then dinner, we just made just a straight vegetable soup, all just real fresh made, just straight vegetable soup. Tons of fat, so a lot of avocado, coconut butter, and stuff. And then same basically the next day, just some eggs, a lot of avocado, and then dinner again, vegetable soup and avocados. And then the third day, kind of, back into kind of.
Did you document this on joshfelber.com or no?
I should have.
Oh man! So next time. How often are you going to do this? You think?
So probably 3 times a year.
3 times a year.
Maybe 4, but Dr. Pompa's doing a real big one. Their goal is to get 1 million people in March here coming up. So I may redo if I do it again in March, then kind of document the whole process and things like that. So.
Yeah, I'm the one who tends to do those kind of out there type of situations. And then John Corcoran called me. He's like, I'm doing a water fast. I'm like, yeah, right. And he goes, no, I was talking to Tony G, and he said it was awesome. I'm like, okay. And so he did the water fast. He lasted I think 2 or 3 days. I'm calling you out, John. But
that's why it's better to do it as a
group. Well, yeah, I said next time let me know, and I'll do it with you. But we'll have to check out Revolution Health or the Doctor.
If you go to Dr. Pompa on his Facebook page,
is it POMPA?
Yeah, correct, POMPA.
Okay.
And I think the group is fasting with purpose or fasting for a purpose. And then it's just all the information's there. And like you said, they're going to be doing a real big one again in March here.
Yeah. So I want to circle back to Primal Life Organics for a second. And what's the challenge with, you've run many companies before, different companies. What are some of the challenges with Primal Life?
I think our biggest challenge right now is just, we're growing so fast, is getting enough people in-house that are quality that can help and want to work. I mean, we get people that come in and they make, like, they're here 2 or 3 days and then they disappear. Like,
what do you need? Like, what kind of staff are you hiring?
So at what we do, I mean, we actually, so Trina designs the formulas, but we have a full production facility here. So we produce all of the products here.
Wow.
We have a whole shipping team here as well. So one section is all production, another section is all shipping department. We do customer service here, and then our third section is all of our executive marketing department and everything else. We got a full video studio. We do tons of Facebook Lives. We do tons of online video, digital content and stuff, just free content that we push out there. And so we have all these different areas. So getting people in to make sure we have the right amount of people for production, shipping to make sure we're getting packages out same day, those kind of things, making sure we have enough customer service team to make sure we're responding within an hour. So a lot of those different areas, and, it's just hiring. So you're trying to find the right people based, fitting for culture, but as well as trying to be able to get enough people in quick enough to make sure we're getting that fulfillment, to get them trained, and make sure they're staying with the team. So
talk about the growth, Josh. Most people, when they're starting the business, that's hard to get that growth. Sure. And then the opposite end, you guys are growing too fast. So what were some of the things that you did to get to that?
I wouldn't say too fast.
It's never too fast for an entrepreneur, but keeping up with.
And so it's always just making sure to keep up with. But I guess that integration balance of it all. But for us is the question you just said.
What's work? What's work to get the word out and to get traction?
I mean, for that, it's really been a lot of social media, digital strategy. A little over a year ago, we made a commitment. It was like kind of pushing hard, but I got everybody to commit to shooting daily video content, and Trina shooting. And so we hired an in-house full-time video guy, and all he does is shoot video content, editing, all that kind of stuff. And and even like 6 months in, I was like, I don't know if we should be doing this video stuff. It's just a waste of time. I'm like, hang in there, just trust me. It's gonna pan out at some point. And and you get some of our advisors like, look, you can't really measure the ROI. And I go, hang in there, it'll work. And going into this year, I mean, our view rates are way up. Our on YouTube and Facebook and stuff. And it's at some point, it's free value content that we push out there all the time. And it may not pay you $1 today.
It's not like a direct response ad, like you get $1 and you got $3 back.
Back, yeah. So, but you can tell the engagement is higher. The people, and all that. And so, the more part of our marketing is the more stuff that we can bring in house. Because we outsource a lot right now too. I mean, we've tried to bring certain pieces in house. It just hasn't worked out well yet. So, part of our new strategy is our consultants that we're hiring, is part of our deal is when we hire that part of that team in house, is then they train them on whatever strategy, whatever we have implemented, and help train them to bring them up to speed, to get them at that same level. And so by doing that, we get the systems in place, we get everything happening in place, marketing going, but then as we find that right person, 2 or 3 people for those areas, they then train them and then let go of the reins for them to take over.
What have you found has worked best to outsource and not keep in-house?
Well, we've gone,
because most people I would think would outsource manufacturing. That seems like a huge animal. I don't even know how you're doing that.
We're getting to the point where
maybe did you lose all your hair because you brought manufacturing?
We're right there on that line. And actually, the text messages before right here, my wife, because she's out of town this week, is like, hey, when are we having quotes back from some of these outsourced manufacturers on XYZ? Like, literally, probably like an hour ago, we were messaging. I'm like, yes, they're supposed to be getting here, in a few days. And but so yeah, that's one big area. But I mean, even what's interesting is you have all these different marketing companies and things. So we've always tried to outsource that. And everybody
that's your expertise, though. I mean, you're a marketing
expert, for sure. But the reason I had to become is because we would outsource it, and 6 months later, we're still waiting for something, and you're 80 grand in the hole paying these people.
Right.
And you're like, hey, where is this? Why don't, and there's just more, well, it'll be another month. The golden pot's coming, and we went through multiple of those. So
wow.
A couple $100 grand in the hole on just that alone. So it, over the last year and a half.
So outsourcing, what would you suggest, for yourself, but for other people too, that made sense just to outsource and not bring it in-house?
Sure. It was funny. I had probably like 3 days ago, a pretty prominent company that was on Shark Tank. I had the same conversation with them is, outsourcing is, you have to know it. So even if you may not have to know 100% of it, but enough to understand to know whether they're doing it right, whether they're not, whether they're giving you the right information. And you still have to have your finger on the pulse. You can't just say, cool, take it and run, which is what we did. And, all of a sudden, that chunk of money is gone and you don't have anything. And so you have to have your finger on it the whole time, I think. And, hey, here's the deadline. Here's this. And keeping them accountable. So are some of the big things.
So I want to talk about your business. I mean, you've run a lot of business since you were 14. And I want to just start off and do like a rapid fire, just the companies that you've started, or
sure.
And just to give people a sense, right? Because I mean, you've gone either from CrossFit gyms to like computer companies, right? So you're 14, you're listening to Tony Robbins, right? What is it? Unlimited Power. What were you listening to at the time?
Unlimited Power.
Unlimited Power. Great stuff. I love his personal power stuff and Unlimited Power. I used to listen to audio cassettes in the car. Take me through some of the businesses from 14 on to today.
So that one just started. I mean, I had like mowing lawns and we had like a mini farm, so I ended up baling hay a lot.
Wow,
and stuff.
Really?
But yeah, where I grew up at, and then my dad was into kind of computers and stuff, and so we had a Commodore 64, and so I got to play around and use that a lot and learned I taught myself kind of how to program C and machine language and everything. Then the Commodore Amigas came out, and those were like the cool graphics and machine to have, and I'm like, but they were like, I think right around, they were like about the $800 price point, and I had saved up some money, but I'm like, man, I got to figure out a better way to buy this. I know there's got to be something, and realized through research, okay, there's a wholesale and distributors, so you can buy it for half price basically. And so contacted the company through phone calls and snail mail, filled out the application, and it probably took like 3 or 4 months, finally got approved. And so I became like the first Amiga dealer in my area.
All right.
It's just a little small business through high school, and was able to grow it. And, we went to trade shows and sold floppy disks and all that. So I learned sales and learned how to communicate with people and all that. Whether that's what I knew I was doing or not, that's what was happening. And so that was kind of the first real company, I would say. But over the years, I mean, it's gone everything from we are the second largest DirecTV Dish Network satellite reseller and installer through TV commercials and an installation team, and then 9/11.
How did you build that up? Would you
so we became a reseller for them or whatever, and we built it up and had like 10 people at one point making outbound sales calls or taking incoming calls and stuff through the phone book. We started running at some point television ads on Fox and ABC and everything, and people would call in and sign up, and it was more of in a localized area, not nationwide yet.
It's like offline affiliate marketing, sort of, right?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was one company. Another one was before the Fast and Furious and all that launched. We started a high performance sports car like shop and stuff, and focused on like Porsches, the Nissan twin turbos, Ferraris, and stuff like that. And it always kind of did okay, especially here in Akron, Ohio. and then we ended up shutting it down because my one business partner, the tech guy, moved out and stuff and away from here. And so we shut it down. And then probably, I think it was, I don't know, a year and a half later, then the Fast and Furious came out, and then just, the market exploded from there. So we're a little early on that. A computer or a merchant processing company. So we were one of the largest merchant processing companies in the U.S. From 92 to 97. And we were one of the first companies putting out those original Zon electronic terminals way back there, light gray.
Yeah.
And they had, before even the electronic printers, and then finally the electronic printers.
How did you get into merchant processing?
So that actually happened when I graduated. I started working for a company doing that. So they had the first voice authorization terminals and stuff that you swipe and it would authorize, and then end of the day kind of capture everything out. And so worked for them for about 8 months and ended up moving to Louisiana. And then I was like, man.
Were you in Ohio at the time?
I started in Ohio, yeah.
Okay.
But I did so well with them. They're like, hey, we want you to open some offices down south for us. And so went down to good old Shreveport, Louisiana, and Arkansas and Mississippi area. And so that was a different change. But and then I was like, man, I know I can do this on my own. And so I was like, all right, I always loved the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas was close by. So I moved to Dallas. That was the closest big city. And started a company there with a partner in 92. And merchant financial services, and we grew it to over 25,000 merchants in 5 years and everything. So
for those, are you for your companies, do you tend to run things concurrently together, or do you tend to go, okay, we're going to run this and then we'll sell it and we'll start something else? How do you like to do things?
So initially, it wasn't like, hey, we're going to start it to sell it or anything. It was cool. I can do this. It was fun. I love it. It's hot, new. It was first to market kind of a thing. And then just one of the banks that we were working with that underwrote a lot of our paper and stuff. We built the portfolio up, and it was an easy acquisition for them and everything.
Because I would think like that's recurring revenue. You've done all the hard work and heavy lifting getting these people on. It's such a pain to switch your merchant processing that they're not going to be like, oh yeah, we're switching. So that's a huge, very valuable asset.
Yeah. And so that's what, and even now, a lot of people that have merchant, it's way more competitive now for sure than it was back then. But, it's still the same thing. You get that reoccurring revenue.
Right.
It's, way cool to have that for sure.
Was that a tough decision to sell it or no?
Initially, just because it's like, man, I built this up. It's, we had, 500 people working for us in different states, and, so you're like, do we really want to let it go? But, it came down to it. We took care of everybody that was part of our team and stuff and everything as well. So it was.
What was your responsibility there? What did you
do? Initially it was everything, but
everything.
When it all said and done, it was overseeing and almost like overseeing all the sales part of it. So working with our different managers, the sales process, the script, what we would say when we'd walk into somebody, things like that. So I built out a lot of the sales team part of it for sure.
So merchant processing. What's the next random? What's the next?
Well, let's see. Then I think then after that, when I moved back to Ohio, it was the sports car company, then the DirecTV satellite company. And then from there, we started. Then the company after that was a product company called Slim Mint. So these two other guys came up with this product idea to create like an Altoid with natural weight loss ingredients in them. And
was it called Slim Mints? Is that what it's called?
Mints. Yeah, they were in like.
I've definitely heard of that.
We ended up in 38,000, 40,000 retailers across the U.S. So everywhere we were at, and we were at the Chicago food show multiple times, and the candy show and stuff like that.
What a good name! Did you guys own SlimMints.com?
We did. Yeah, I don't know if
wow.
we sold everything, but yeah, it was so. But yeah, Slim Mints. If you Google Slim Mints, you'll see there's probably still press releases out with my name and stuff.
So. Did you just meet people? How did that come about?
So they were introduced to me through a friend of mine, and they were looking for somebody to help them with the sales side of it. And so I came on and kind of as VP of sales. And initially it was just build. It was
you can still buy them on Amazon.
I think they're still out there. Irwin Naturals bought the company, so they're a big supplement company out of California.
Okay.
This was in 2006. They bought it.
Nice.
05, 06, something like that. So yeah, it was fun. It was huge challenge.
You hesitate for a second. What
well,
happened?
I'm thinking because we're going into retail
Something
this
happened.
year. So
Okay.
I'm like, no, well, yeah, I'll tell you that at the end.
Yeah.
But we're going into retail this year, and so it's like I'm like, man, it's just such a beast to move in, to retail and stuff. But initially, it was like we were selling online. It was almost like creating the first web stores and all that kind of stuff, and being able to give people that they could go right to the website and order Slim Mints. And so that's kind of how we started it. And he was one of the guys was a copywriter, so he'd write copy and sales letters and drive people into the store part of it that I had put together. And then it's like, cool, now we got to move into retail. All right, let's figure this out. And I mean, it was 12 months of making phone call after phone call after phone call, and we would send out a packet every single week with samples, a sales letter to buyers from all the different retailers that we wanted to get. And so every week they were getting a different sales letter and samples. And and finally one day we got one of them that answered our phone call or message back, and we started getting appointments and got them in CVS and Walgreens and Walmart and everywhere, any store that you see on the corner they were in. And then the partners were at the point where they're like, all right, we're done. We want to get out. We've put in a ton of money. We just started making money, so we got money back. And Irwin Naturals came in and bought it out. So you've obviously grown and sold several companies. What have you found to be the process? Are they people incoming seeking you, or do you go out to like a broker or do you go out to a strategic partner? How do you? Sure.
Yeah.
For the credit card, it was more, we had built such a good asset. It was, the bank was like, hey, we'd have an interest in, taking over the portfolio.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of them initiating, with Slim Mints, the partners had gone out, and I don't remember if it was through a direct connection or it might have been from one of the food shows or something we were at, and the connection through there. And they're a big supplement company you can find in GNC, and they were in all the same stores that we were in. So it was more of like cool, here's another product, we can buy it, take it over, and push it into other channels and stuff too.
Yeah. So Slim Mints.
Slim Mints.
And then I know I'm somewhere along the way is a 7,000 square foot CrossFit gym, right?
We're getting there, yeah.
Okay.
So after Slim Mints, the guy that introduced me to him, we started a product company, as seen on TV, product company.
Okay.
So we would go out and source products, take them to as different groups that had infomercials and all that.
One of the interviews, I interviewed Ron Popeil. So, one of my favorites.
So that's how he got kind of connected back in the day with Kevin Harrington a little bit. And then there's
what did you do for the as seen on TV stuff? What?
Kind of the same thing. So it was a small company. There was only like 4 of us. And so my buddy's dad kind of funded it. Him and I went out. We would try to make contacts with the different infomercial companies, pitch them on the ideas. We'd go meet with Bed Bath, because I still had all the contacts from Slim Mints. So we had the access to the Bed Baths and all those. And so going to all
Primal Life Organics, Josh. Like, what's going on?
Like from 2006 to 2017, none of those people are there anymore. And it's a whole.
They're like running the company now. No.
Or it could be the buyers from here, or a whole different company.
Yeah, that's tough. There's turnover.
It was every 6 months. Like when we were at Slim Mints, like we would almost have a deal ready.
Really?
And then the buyer would leave, and you have to start all the way back at square one, unless you had a vendor number by then. And so it was hurry, try to get the vendor number, and then get your, because then once you had your vendor number, then it was you were in basically. So, but
so okay,
so product company, and we were doing that for, 2006, 2007, 8, and we came across a product. It was a switch mechanism, and it was developed by a subsidiary of Siemens called Enocean. And basically, you could push the switch or the button or whatever. It would create. There was no wires to it. It would create enough power from that little motion. It was able to send a burst of Wi-Fi or wireless packets, and so we could turn on and off heating and cooling systems, lighting, and everything else. And so we're like, hey, there's a huge market for this, retrofitting like old buildings and all this and dorm rooms and everything. So we started building that company out. And that went all the way up to beginning of 2010. And we were still in the red. We'd already invested a couple $1 million. And it just got to the point where it was not fun anymore. And so I talked to him and left the company, and I was like, all right, I love fitness, I love health. I'd been doing CrossFit since 2003 at my home and stuff like that. I'm like,
when did CrossFit really become? When did it start? I mean,
like 99.
99. Okay, so you were really early on because it didn't really. I felt get popular, hit the masses in like the last couple of years, right?
Sure, last few years, it really blew up. So it was still pretty way old school when I was doing it, and and everything. And 2010, I was like, all right, I want to go just open a CrossFit. I'll figure out how to do it. So I started going around and interviewing different CrossFit owners and calling the big ones that I knew from searching online that were pretty prominent, and just interview them. Hey, what'd you do? How'd you do this? How'd you build it up? And then in October 2010 is when we opened it, and in 18 months, grew it from that to just under 7 figures in the area by totally doing it different than everybody else. Was the whole blue ocean strategy.
What was different?
So the way we did it is we looked at how everybody was doing it now in our area especially, and they were part-time, small gyms, limited equipment. The people worked somewhere else, and they would come in and train for a couple hours. And we said, okay, cool. We're going to do this full-time. We're going to be open, more classes. We're going to have all the equipment necessary. This is all we're going to do, all we're going to focus on. So, and a lot of people had like that, I don't know, it was like $125 a month unlimited. Our 2-day package started at $125, and we went up to like our unlimited, which was like $249 or something like that. So total opposite of everybody else. And I mean, we took people through like a free session initially to gauge their fitness level, and then said, okay, here's what you need to do, blah, 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 to do it. Then they would have to go in through like a 2-week training course, basically, that taught them how to do the different movements. And like I said, this is total opposite of what everybody else was doing.
Just let them go at it.
Start, and and so and that's what grew us. I mean, we grew crazy fast. Used social media, Facebook, Twitter, and stuff to really get the word out, and it just blew up. And so we ended up moving to a bigger facility, and it was awesome. It was 7,000 square feet. It was fun. It was great, and we just got to the point where we were so big and so well known. We started having people come in, and they would train with us to be coaches, and they planned on staying and helping us grow. And then like 2 weeks later, they're gone. They're nowhere to be found. And they had opened one up a mile down the road.
Wow.
And giving away memberships to anybody that would switch, or half price, which they only lasted 6 to 8 months. Then they went out of business. But it created such a dent. It happened 2-3 times. Like we'd lose $20K a month in revenue. Then another time we'd lose $10K a month. So all of a sudden we went from almost 7 figures to where like we're barely doing 6 figures. And the loyalty and all that people always said that they had, you just get to the point where, man, this just, why do I want to be part of something that's like, tears everybody down when you're trying to build people up and create a positive environment. So we pulled the plug and got out and had a couple other gyms, and those coaches took them over and stuff. And that's kind of when I transitioned between like coaching and kind of helping Trina some and Primal Life and everything else. So
crazy journey, Josh. Crazy journey. What has been the biggest you felt win for you, and what has been the biggest? I mean, you always start a business, you have high hopes. The one that didn't do as well as the others did.
Right. I mean, I think the biggest thing for me ever, I mean, just along the whole process and the whole journey, is mentorship and reinvesting back into myself. I mean, I know probably last year I spent $250K and count hundreds and hundreds of hours just mentorships and masterminds and reinvesting and creating more connections. And I mean, I think with anything, that's hands down what's, been able to help catapult Primal Life Organics, as well as just, helping me continue to always excel and push myself to another level and everything for sure.
So what are some of the masterminds you like? Besides Vinny Fisher's Total CEO. Because he's the only one that's going to be in Cleveland.
Because it's in Cleveland.
Right.
It's super easy to get to. No, it's that one is just, it's totally different than all the other masterminds, so that's why I really like that one.
No, I love Vinny. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's different pieces to all the different masterminds that are part of them. One is all about networking. It's cool. Here's the connections, and introductions to those people. Another one is all about marketing tactics and strategies and grabbing them and implementation. Another one is Vinny's is different because you go there and that one you actually work on your business. So it's like, cool, here's what I'm doing. And Vinny's like, I don't care what's going great. Let me hear about what's not working and how can we fix it. Right. And you dive into that and you get him, plus you get all the different people being able to contribute for that for sure. So that one is really good. There's a new one I'm looking at this year. Trying to figure out, cool, how can we grow our Amazon more, that kind of a thing. So Catalyst 88, which is a more Amazon-centric, focused, specific one. I've had good feedback from a couple different people on that one specifically. So I'm looking at that one for this year for sure.
Specific for the Amazon stuff?
Growth and just, we've gotten it to a certain point and but how do you get it, to 10 million a year, or, 5 million a year, 10 million a year, and that kind of a thing. So.
So any other good ones? So Vinny's you like. What other ones?
War Room. So I'm in War Room as well. Genius Network is another one. Yeah. That I'm part of. Let's see. I was in Brendan Burchard's. I think I have one more meeting with that one as well this year. And then Russell Brunson's. I'm in Russell Brunson's. ClickFunnels one and stuff. So as well. There's a couple.
Never shortage of learning and mentoring. That's great. I love that.
And like for example, we're going into retail this year with Primal Life Organics, so we can get into all the Whole Foods and Sprouts and everything else. So we hired on a consultant, and her whole background is retail and helping you get in retail, making sure your pitch is right, because it's way different from when I was doing it back in 2003.
Just rehire that copywriter and start sending out samples.
Well, we just hired on a 50-hour a month copywriter. He's done a lot of our copy now, and I had the opportunity because I keep pestering him, and he's gonna come on board and help us grow it from a direct response standpoint too. So,
Josh, I know we're at the top of the hour. I had 2 questions left. More than that, but I'll keep it to 2 for you. And I want you to talk about your vivid vision. You know, we talked a little bit before we started for Primal Life Organics.
Definitely. So our vivid vision this year, one of the big things that, from a number standpoint, our goal is, $50 million in 3 years. We want to have a 3x valuation, from there, building up our reoccurring clientele and things like that. But part of that vivid vision is, creating this huge cultural atmosphere of people that just, live and breathe and they just love health and they love, making changes in the world. Because it's not just skincare that we're delivering. We're trying to help people. There's like my buddy, billionaire Naveen Jain, they're trying to transform health from the inside out in your gut biome. Well, that's awesome. And I totally agree. That's 100% where you need to change, but also too, it's what you're putting on your skin every single day, what you're putting in your mouth every single day, and all of that, the stress and where you are. And so we're trying to say, okay, how can we help 1 billion people transform their skin, whether it's, what they put on, whether they wash their hair with, whatever the deodorant they use, as well as from a sustainable approach is, we're trying to move a lot of our packaging towards sustainable package. So like all of our deodorants now are in cardboard tubing and stuff that you push up instead of that white plastic, and everything. And so we've made a big push in that direction. And then one of our big pieces is giving back. I've been always a big supporter of OUR, Operation Underground Railroad, for the sex trafficking and helping rescue kids and all that. And so our goal over the next 3 years is to donate over $1 million to them. I know Tony Robbins is a big supporter, Russell Brunson from ClickFunnels. They kind of used to be real quiet, and we raised a bunch of money for them back when I had my CrossFit gyms. Nobody really knew about them, and now they're all over the news. And the one news guy, Glenn Beck, I think it is, He's a big supporter and like just did a whole story. My buddy Nick Nanton just shot a full documentary on Operation Underground Railroad, and they're releasing it at the funnel hacking event coming up.
Oh,
here.
that's cool.
And so that's just a real big give back program, and how we can help do that and support just the sex trafficking and raising more awareness and helping rescue more. That's what the money and everything going to and all that. And so and then, like I said, internally, culturally building, we're trying to do a lot of cool stuff internally for our employees, and to, we want to look at hiring on kind of like a goal mentor type coaching, and then like a financial coach. We can sit down with them and say, cool, what are your financial goals? You want to buy a house, or you want to do this, or you want to save for these trips, and helping them put plans in place for a long-term success, for themselves.
Yeah, that's great. Love that. Thanks for sharing that, Josh.
Sure.
And then are you going to have it made into a poster? Or how does it work?
We are, yeah. So right now they're just writing up all the copy and all the design and all the cool graphics and all that stuff. So we should be getting the first draft back the 26th, I think he said.
So last question, top 100. Talk about your top 100. And I think everyone should have a top 100.
For sure, definitely. For me, it's, let's see. For my show Making Bank, I've definitely wanted to connect and interview people like Tim Ferriss, Tony Robbins. I was super close to getting that locked down, and then something weird with the PR person that was scheduled and everything happened, and so that ended up not going through after I thought it was going to go through. Shoot, I have my whole list, and I'm trying to think now. I drew a blank.
Pull it out.
Let's see. It's out in the other room on there. I know I just sent when I was just out of Archangel's Mastermind a few weeks ago out in San Diego, and then when I filled out my intake form, I put like the top 10 on the intake form. So I'm trying to remember everybody that's on there. I've let's see. Oh, Richard Branson, Jeff Bezos, the founders of Google. I've always wanted to interview those guys. Elon Musk. I think it would be awesome to have him on as well. So there's a few.
I think you should shoot higher. No, I'm just kidding.
So I was trying to get Donald Trump before he even ran for the presidency, and now it's kind of...
That would be an interesting one, yeah. Yeah, so if anyone out there knows these people, right?
Yes, for
sure. Let Josh know. Everyone should check out joshfelber.com. They should check out you have a bunch of videos. You have the podcast, but also a bunch of videos on YouTube. People should check out primallifeorganics.com. Right. Anywhere else we should point people towards, Josh?
joshfelber.com or Primal Life Organics. I know, like, Making Bank, I think we're on track this month for 8 million minutes watched. So
that's amazing.
Cool. Yeah, it's three years in, so it's taken a while. But there's certain points you're like, man, nobody's really watching my stuff. And then I saw the report. I'm like, oh, I guess I do have people watching my stuff.
People do. It's good. It's good stuff.
Cool.
I think it's interesting. Just some of the, like, I think the Damon John and the Jay Abraham one have like combined over 1 million views.
Yeah, I know. Those are like my biggest.
What made those so popular and get so many eyeballs?
I think just some of the searched key terms and stuff that we used on the videos. We tried to tag specifically what people are looking for that were tied into those specific videos and stuff. I know another good one that we did, Tom Bilyeu, the billionaire Quest founder. Yeah. Naveen Jain, that one's I've starting to see some good traction on that one. We just launched a few weeks ago. I'm trying to think some of the other ones. I'm drawing a blank. The SEO, Google SEO guy.
Perry Marshall?
Yes, there you go.
Perry Marshall's great.
That one.
that was like 400,000 views.
That one has a lot of views too, and so some of those have been sitting on there a little while longer as well. So it helps.
The Gary Vaynerchuk one is
Gary
Vaynerchuk,
popular. Yeah. And when we got picked up by Entrepreneur Network over the summer, that helped as well too. I know that helped push a lot more content, our content out there a lot more for sure. Yeah. And then recently, like we've linked into Spotify, a lot of the audio side of stuff, and iHeartRadio and things as well.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, everyone check it out. PrimalLifeOrganics.com, JoshFelber.com. Check out the podcast, Making Bank. Josh, I want to be the first one to thank you. This was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was awesome. One more site too.
Go ahead.
Check out. My daughter's 9. She's owned her own pet care company. She makes all these organic pet care products.
Tell us.
And it's PaleoPets.com.
Paleo Pets. You guys are the best domains. Is it PaleoPets.com?
I own a lot of domains.
Wow, this is great.
So
I want to buy slimmins.com. No one owns it right now.
That one probably would be available now.
I looked at it's not a website. I don't know if it's available, but you should rebuy that.
Redirect
all traffic to Primal Organics, PrimalLifeOrganics.com.
We
so
do.
Tell me about the Paleo Pets for a second.
Sure. So she loves pets.
Great logo.
We just redid the logo.
Oh, it looks good.
She hand drew one, and we had somebody kind of model it into a graphic side of it. So that was her first logo, and we literally they were over at the office yesterday, and she put up her new logo and put up some of her new stuff and all that, and we just launched some new Facebook ads for her. So they go through.
How is she? Is she selling them direct? Is she selling them on Amazon too, or just on the website?
E-com mostly. We do have some listings on Amazon, but we haven't made a big push there yet. So it's mostly right through the e-com store and everything.
What's the most popular products right now? Do you have a dog?
The dog tooth powder.
Really?
Yeah.
Do people? I never owned a dog. Do people brush their dog's teeth daily?
They do. Yeah.
Every day?
Yeah. Yep.
Wow. More reason not to get a dog. My wife wants us to get a dog. Do you have a dog?
We do. We have 2.
2 dogs. Wow.
Cats.
That's amazing. Yeah. PaleoPets.com. Thank you for. I mean, I should have introduced that at the beginning of the interview.
She would be like, "Oh, Dad,
forget about Primal Life Organics. This should have been all about Paleo Pets." Yeah.
And it's cool because she's done some kid entrepreneur things. She may be getting picked up for this new show coming out on CBS next year. It's like a kids Shark Tank. It's not Shark Tank, but I don't remember the name. But
like specialized for kids companies.
It's kids, yeah. And there's a team, there's a panel, and they, you go on and you pitch it, and then they decide it. Not. So she made it through the second round so far. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So we got one more round to go, I think, of interview stuff.
How old is she?
She's 9.
So what do you do with her to encourage entrepreneurship stuff? Is it just her being around you, or do you actually do certain things in the routine?
Sure. Both. First, it was her and my boys.
Sorry, you opened it up. I was going to let you go.
The boys launched their own company, freefidgetspinners.co, and so they're selling like a free plus shipping offer, and so they were trying to figure out something that they could do real easy. And yeah, when they were over here yesterday, they were having our video guy create new video ads for them.
They're already doing free plus shipping. Wow, they are advanced.
Yeah, built their own funnel and ClickFunnels and everything, and so they wanted to try to make the 2 Comma Club award before ClickFunnels, but I don't think it'll happen next year.
That's amazing.
But yeah, I think them just being around and seeing what we're doing, and I mean, I implement a lot of stuff for them. I mean, we homeschool them anyways, but
you do. Okay.
Yeah, so part of their
great. Now you're going to make me ask questions about that. Now I want to know why.
Well, part of their curriculum, they were in Montessori, and Montessori only goes up to a certain level. So they were pretty close to where that would end. And so we were like, okay, cool. And I thought, well, with that, then I can introduce into the curriculum more entrepreneurship and marketing and coding and just a lot of different cool, fun stuff for them to learn. And so that's what we did. And
that's a tough decision, right? Or no?
They wanted
time commitment. Why?
So we have somebody that helps out. And then they help out on the daily stuff with it. And then I kind of give them a guide and say, okay, cool. Here, guys, here's what you need to be learning about this and this. My buddy Adam Torrin and Matt, Kidpreneurs.
Yeah, I bought their books like a couple weeks ago. I was messaging with Adam, and I'm like, Yeah, so I bought. They have 2 books, right?
And they have
One's
a
the Kids
Udemy
for
course,
Dummies,
too.
and they do.
They have the Udemy course as
Okay.
well. So they went through that whole thing.
The kids will watch the video in a second. I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know that.
It's awesome. The course is great. So they did the books like a couple of years ago, and then the whole course. And I kept trying to get their Montessori school to roll them out. And I'm like, look, I'll buy the 50 books. I go, you guys just roll it out and teach it, and but they never did. So I was like, sweet, that was a benefit of bringing them in and homeschooling them and stuff. And then I try to take them everywhere I can with us on trips. So like they're all going to Funnel Hacking Live. They're sitting in the conference and
really.
taking. And we took them to Billie Jean's over the summer, and they sat, and it was super basic, which was great for them. And they learned all the basics of Facebook advertising and some video advertising and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's fun.
I can go on and on with you.
we could do another one.
This is great. No, thank you so much. Everyone check out, who cares about everything else, but paleopets.com and obviously primallifeorganics.com. But thank you. I know Scott loves you so much. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Jeremy. And it's an honor, and hopefully we got awesome nuggets out there for your audience.
Definitely did.
What I got, you can't buy. It resides between my eyes. Walked through the fire, came out better on the other side. See, life's like a beach if you find the sand. And right now, I feel like $100 grand.